I almost killed myself on a pile of rocks by the ocean. 3 years later, I discovered that Tanjiro Kamado's demon-slaying philosophy wasn't just anime fantasy, it was the breathing technique that saved my life. Let me tell you something that will shatter everything you think you know about fighting inner demons. The hand that pulls you out of hell isn't coming from some Hashira master, your therapist's office, or that motivational guru you follow. Just like Tanjiro couldn't wait for someone else to save Nezuko, you can't wait for someone else to slay the demons living inside your mind. I know this because I spent months in total concentration breathing, not the anime version, but the real-life technique that kept me from ending everything. Picture this: a 41-year-old man, divorced, broke, taking to medications just to survive each day. Panic attacks hit me like upper moon demons, sudden, overwhelming, seemingly impossible to defeat. That was me, sitting on those rocks, wondering if I should just let the ocean take me. But here's where the Demon Slayer philosophy changed everything. In the anime, every slayer faces a moment where they must choose: become a demon yourself, or find the strength to keep fighting even when you're broken, bleeding, and outmatched. I was at that exact crossroads, and I chose to fight. You see, most people think healing comes from external salvation. They're waiting for their own Kyojuro Rengoku to appear and inspire them, or some master swordsmith to forge them the perfect solution. They've turned themselves into helpless civilians, hoping a Hashira will show up to save them. I was one of them. Growing up in rural Brazil, I was that hypersensitive kid who questioned everything, like Tanjiro questioning why demons exist if they were once human. I saw the suffering in church, wondered why authority figures seemed consumed by anger. Watched my father work himself to exhaustion, just like the demon slayers who sacrifice everything for others. That sensitivity became both my curse and my power. I rebelled hard: alcohol, drugs, toxic relationships. I became exactly what happens when someone with a gentle heart meets a harsh world without proper training. For years, I was like a demon slayer without a Nichiren blade, fighting monsters with bare hands. Then panic disorder knocked me down like a cause's punches. But here is what Demon Slayer teaches us about rock bottom: it is where you discover your true breathing technique. The breakthrough came when I stopped asking, why are these demons attacking me, and started asking, what breathing form do I need to defeat them? Everything changed when I realized my trauma wasn't my weakness, it was the hellish training that would make me stronger. Think about how Nichiren blades are forged. They don't start as perfect weapons. They're raw steel, heated to extreme temperatures, hammered repeatedly, cooled and reheated until they become capable of cutting through anything. The same process that creates demon-slaying swords creates demon-slaying humans. But most people never make it past the heating stage. They get comfortable being victims of their circumstances, like civilians who refuse demon slayer training. They collect their traumas like battle scars, but never learn to fight. I'm abandoned, I'm rejected, I'm broken. They become professional victims instead of warriors. I see it everywhere now. Men who can't handle pressure because they never learned total concentration breathing. Women who mistake trauma bonding for the pure love Tanjiro shows Nezuko. Children being medicated instead of taught emotional breathing techniques. We've created a generation of people who've never learned to slay their inner demons. Want to know the real epidemic? It's not anxiety or depression, those are just demon attacks. The real disease is ignorance about how our mental breathing works. Just like how demon slayers must understand breathing to survive. Your brain is like the Demon Slayer core's headquarters. It responds to the breathing patterns you send it. When you repeatedly tell yourself, I'm weak, I'm helpless, I can't handle this, you're essentially using a breathing technique that summons demons instead of slaying them. Tanjiro never won fights by telling himself he was too weak. Even facing upper moon demons, he found a way to breathe through the fear and keep fighting. Here is what I discovered during those months of meditation on the rocks: you are not your thoughts. You are not your panic attacks. You are not your circumstances. You are the demon slayer observing all these demon attacks, and slayers have the power to choose their breathing technique. The moment you realize you can step back and watch your mind like Tanjiro watching demon movements, everything changes. You stop being the victim and become the warrior. But this isn't easy training. Real demon slayers don't become powerful through weekend workshops or 3-step programs. They endure hellish training that pushes them beyond their limits. I spent hours learning total concentration breathing, not the fictional version, but conscious breathing that signals safety to your nervous system. Like Tanjiro's training with Yuriko Daki, I learned to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. I practiced observing my thoughts like demon movements present, threatening, but ultimately defeatable. The meditation became my water-breathing technique. Not the religious kind where you're begging some external force to defeat your demons, but the kind where you're having direct combat with the darkest parts of yourself. The kind where you learn that compassion even for your own inner demons is what transforms them. And something remarkable happened. The panic attacks didn't just decrease, they transformed into moments of clarity, like Tanjiro's ability to sense demon weaknesses. The depression lifted not because I forced positivity, but because I stopped feeding the thought patterns that were essentially demon food. My relationship with my son deepened because I wasn't trying to parent from my wounds anymore. I was parenting like Tanjiro protects Nezuko, with fierce love and unshakable strength. But here's the part that might challenge everything you believe about healing. Like Demon Slayer training, it has to hurt first. Real transformation requires you to face demons you've been avoiding. It means admitting where you've been lying to yourself, where you've been playing victim instead of warrior, where you've been choosing comfort over the painful training that creates strength. Most people aren't willing to pay that price. They want demon-slaying power without demon-slaying training, strength without struggle, Hashira-level skills without Ashira-level commitment. They want to be rescued instead of learning to rescue themselves. That is why the self-help industry is worth billions while people stay stuck fighting the same demons for decades. Look, I'm not saying you don't need support. Even Tanjiro had Yurakodaki, Jiu, and the other Hashira. Community matters. Good mentorship helps. But ultimately, when you're face to face with your demons, the person who has to execute the breathing technique is you. Your demons attacked you, but learning to slay them is your responsibility. No one else can breathe for you. No one else can master your mental breathing techniques. No one else can choose courage over fear in the 1,000 small battles that determine who you become. This isn't motivational speaking, these are survival instructions for the modern world. Because we're living in times when people have forgotten how to be warriors. We've traded ancient wisdom for quick fixes, depth for distraction, the warrior's path for the victim's comfort. The answer isn't out there. It's not in the next relationship, the next job, the next achievement. It is in the willingness to undergo Demon Slayer training every single day, to face your demons with proper breathing technique and unshakable resolve. That pile of rocks where I almost ended everything, I visit it regularly now. Not as a broken civilian waiting for rescue, but as someone who learned the most important lesson from Demon Slayer. The only blade sharp enough to cut through your demons is the one you forge yourself through disciplined breathing and relentless training. The question isn't whether you're capable of becoming a demon slayer. The question is whether you're willing to undergo the training that demon slaying requires. Everything else is just noise from demons trying to keep you weak. Total concentration, life breathing. First form, accept your power.